In Hollywood, nothing stays hidden forever. Every star, no matter how bright, carries secrets that can one day come to light. Blake Lively has long been celebrated as a picture of elegance, beauty, and charm. From her breakout role in Gossip Girl to her marriage with Ryan Reynolds, she seemed untouchable. Yet behind every polished image, there are whispers of stories that never reach the front pages. Today, those whispers are louder than ever because receipts have surfaced. These receipts do not lie. They promise to reveal a side of Blake Lively that the world has never seen. The story you are about to hear is not just about an actress. It is about the cost of fame, the weight of image, and the truth that always finds a way out. So stay with us until the very end, because this is more than gossip. This is a journey through stardom, power, and exposure. And once you see the full picture, you may never look at Blake Lively the same way again. To understand the story, we must begin at the beginning. Blake Ellender Lively was born on August 25, 1987, in Tarzana, California. Acting ran in her family. Both of her parents were in the entertainment industry, which gave her a natural introduction to the world of Hollywood. Her father, Ernie Lively, was an actor, and her mother, Elaine, was a talent scout. From a young age, Blake was surrounded by scripts, auditions, and the buzzing energy of show business. Unlike many child actors, Blake did not immediately step into the spotlight. She lived what she later described as a fairly normal childhood. School was part of her life. Friends and teenage experiences grounded her. She was not chasing fame at the age of 5, yet her family always believed she had the spark to shine. Her official entry into acting happened almost by chance. Blake had accompanied her brother Eric to an audition. The casting directors noticed her presence and encouraged her to audition herself. Soon after, she landed her first significant role in the movie Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants in 2005. The film became a sleeper hit, and it introduced her to millions of fans worldwide. Critics praised her performance as authentic and relatable. For Blake, it was the first taste of stardom. But it was Gossip Girl that turned her into a global name. The series premiered in 2007 and quickly became a cultural phenomenon. Blake played Serena van der Woodsen, a glamorous, wealthy, and complex character who lived in New York City. Audiences loved her charm and screen presence. With each season, her popularity grew. Magazines featured her on their covers. Fashion brands invited her to shows. She became not just an actress, but a style icon. Behind the scenes, Blake was also building connections. Hollywood is a place where relationships can shape careers. Blake formed friendships with influential people. She became a regular on red carpets. Interviews showed her as graceful, articulate, and down-to-earth. This balance of talent, beauty, and personality positioned her as one of the most admired young stars of her generation. During this period, she met Ryan Reynolds. Their relationship became one of Hollywood's most followed love stories. Married in 2012, they built a family together while maintaining a playful and charming public image. Fans adored their witty exchanges on social media. The couple often appeared as the picture of perfection, but perfection is hard to sustain. Even as Blake reached new heights, questions began to emerge. Fame comes with pressure. Every move is recorded. Every word is analyzed. For Blake, the world seemed to watch her every step. And while she worked to protect her reputation, her journey would eventually face the kind of exposure that no celebrity truly welcomes. In Hollywood, image is everything. A celebrity may have talent, but without the right public image, their career can easily fade away. Blake Lively understood this lesson very early in her journey. She was not just an actress, she was a brand. Every outfit she wore, every role she chose, and every public appearance became a building block in creation of what many fans saw as the perfect image. Blake knew how to work with the press. Photographers loved her because she rarely gave them a bad angle. Fashion designers adored her because she could make their collections shine. Audiences admired her because she seemed approachable and kind, even while living a life most could only dream of. She had mastered the balance between being glamorous and being relatable. One of the strongest parts of her image was her reputation as a fashion icon. Unlike many celebrities who rely heavily on stylists, Blake often styled herself for red carpet events. She became known for bold choices that blended classic elegance with modern flair. Whether it was in film festival or movie premiere, she rarely missed the mark. Her appearances became headlines on fashion blogs and entertainment outlets. Fans began to copy her looks. Designers began to compete to have her wear their pieces. Blake also cultivated the image of the perfect wife and mother. Her marriage to Ryan Reynolds became a cornerstone of her brand. Together, they were seen as Hollywood's golden couple. Their playful banter on social media gave fans a sense of authenticity. Their family life looked balanced despite the demands of fame. Interviews showed Blake talking about parenting with warmth and wisdom. For many people, she represented a role model star who could juggle career, family, and fame without breaking a sweat. Another key piece of her perfect image was her work outside of acting. Blake launched lifestyle projects and business ventures. She positioned herself as more than just an actress. She wanted to be seen as an entrepreneur and a tastemaker. This added depth to her profile. She was not just a pretty face on the screen. She was a woman with vision and ambition. Media outlets helped shape this narrative. Magazines praised her beauty and elegance. Reporters highlighted her down-to-earth personality. Interviews often painted her as charming, witty, and wise beyond her years. Fans who followed her career felt like they were witnessing a modern fairy tale. A talented actress, a loving wife, a devoted mother, and a style queen all in one. But as the image grew brighter, so did the expectations. The higher the pedestal, the harder the fall. The public began to expect perfection from Blake at all times. Any slip-up, any rumor, any questionable choice threatened to tarnish the flawless image she had worked so hard to build. Behind the smiles and photo shoots, there was pressure. Pressure to remain perfect. Pressure to maintain the reputation that had become her armor in Hollywood. And just like many stars before her cracks began to show, the perfect image could only last for so long before the truth began to push through. The receipts that later surfaced would strike hardest against this very image because they challenged the carefully constructed story of Blake Lively that fans thought they knew. Every celebrity who lives in spotlight eventually faces moments when their image begins to show weaknesses. For Blake Lively, this moment did not arrive with a single scandal. Instead, it was a slow process of small controversies, whispers in the media, and rising questions that chipped away at her flawless reputation. The first cracks often appeared in the form of criticism about her choices. Fans admired her fashion sense, yet not every outfit was met with praise. Some called her looks too daring, while others argued they were out of touch. Fashion critics can be ruthless, and even though Blake often came out on top, there were moments when the headlines questioned her taste. For someone who had built part of her fame on being a style icon, even small criticisms mattered. Beyond fashion, the press also began to question her business ventures. Blake once launched a lifestyle brand that aimed to compete with giants in the industry. She presented it as a passion project, but critics saw it differently. They claimed it was unrealistic and too polished. Some questioned if she had the experience to guide such a project. The brand did not survive for long, and its closure was treated as a failure by the media. For a star who was seen as perfect, this stumble raised doubts. Her public statements sometimes drew attention as well. In interviews, she tried to balance honesty with diplomacy, but even one misinterpreted phrase could spark backlash. In the age of social media, words travel fast. A single sentence could be pulled out of context and shared thousands of times. Fans who once adored her sometimes accused her of being tone deaf or unaware of real-world struggles. While the criticisms were not career-ending, they planted seeds of doubt. Another layer of pressure came from her marriage. Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively were adored as the ultimate power couple, yet that level of attention can be a double-edged sword. Fans demanded constant updates about their relationship. Gossip outlets speculated on their private life. Anytime one of them appeared in public, without the other rumors spread quickly. Was there trouble in paradise? Were they drifting apart? Most of the time, these rumors were baseless, but repetition gave them weight. Even untrue stories began to chip away at the perfect image. Hollywood itself added to the cracks. Blake had been a major star during the Gossip Girl era, yet as years passed, newer faces entered the industry. Competition was fierce. Social media stars, influencers, and younger actors started to dominate headlines. Maintaining relevance became a challenge. Every project Blake chose was analyzed. If a movie failed at the box office, questions arose about her star power. Success brought praise, but failure magnified the cracks. Then there were the whispers that did not always reach the headlines, but still lived in online forums and fan discussions. Claims of feuds on set or disagreements with colleagues. Speculation about behind-the-scenes behavior. None of it was proven, but in the world of celebrity culture, even rumors can damage a reputation. Fans who once defended her began to wonder if there was more to Blake Lively than what the cameras captured. The cracks did not destroy her image, yet they weakened it. They created space for suspicion and speculation. They made the audience more open to believing that there could be another side to the story. And when the receipts eventually surfaced, they hit harder, because people were already beginning to question the perfect image. This was a turning point. Blake Lively was no longer just a star admired from afar. She was now a public figure under scrutiny. Every choice, every word, every move became evidence for or against the flawless reputation she had built. The stage was set for exposure. The question was not if, but when. In the world of celebrity news, there is a saying that receipts never lie. A rumor can be denied. A headline can be spun. But receipts are cold hard proof. They are messages, screenshots, documents, and recordings that leave no room for doubt. For years, Blake Lively had enjoyed a reputation built on elegance, class, and grace. But when the receipts began to surface, that image was shaken in a way that few could have predicted. The receipts did not appear all at once. They trickled in slowly at first. A leaked conversation here, a questionable email there. At first, many fans dismissed them as fake. In the age of digital manipulation, it is easy to believe that someone could doctor evidence to harm a celebrity. But as more pieces of information came out, the story became harder to ignore. Patterns began to emerge. Voices began to match. Dates and timelines began to line up. The receipts started to form a larger picture. One of the first major leaks involved private communication between Blake and a business associate. The messages revealed frustration and tension. They suggested that Blake had made decisions that favored her image over ethical choices. While not illegal, the tone of the messages was cold and calculated. Fans who had always believed her to be kind and compassionate were shocked by the blunt and strategic tone in these private exchanges. Next came documents related to a project she had once promoted publicly. The receipts suggested that behind the scenes there had been serious disagreements about money, creative control, and branding. Blake had spoken about this project in interviews as if it was a dream come true. But the internal documents showed that the experience had been filled with conflict. Former collaborators began to speak out. They described a working environment that was intense and at times unpleasant. This clashed with the cheerful image Blake had always shown to the world. Social media added fuel to the fire. Anonymous accounts began to share stories. Some claimed to have worked with Blake in the past. Others claimed to have witnessed moments when she was not the charming celebrity seen on screen. These posts gained traction quickly. Hashtags formed. Threads went viral. People debated whether these stories were true, but the presence of actual receipts gave them more credibility than usual internet gossip. Another set of receipts involved alleged conflicts with other celebrities. These were not widely reported at first because no one wanted to believe that Blake could be involved in behind-the-scenes drama. Yet the leaked messages showed signs of tension. There were reports of disagreements on set, subtle shade thrown in interviews, and moments where professional relationships had broken down. None of these incidents alone were career-ending, but together they painted a picture of someone who may have been more complicated than her public image suggested. The most shocking receipts, however, were the ones that hinted at legal concerns. While Blake was not accused of any crime, there were hints of contractual disputes and legal threats made behind closed doors. These were carefully worded documents, yet they showed that she had been involved in serious negotiations where reputations and money were at stake. Lawyers had been called in. Agreements had been broken. Settlements had been discussed. The average fan never saw the side of celebrity life. It was hidden behind red carpet smiles and scripted interviews, but now it was out in the open. For many people, the most surprising part of the receipts was not what they revealed, but how they changed the perception of Blake Lively. She had always seemed like someone who rose above the drama, someone who avoided controversy. But the receipts showed that she was deeply involved in the same kind of behind-the-scenes politics that affect every major star. She was human, flawed, strategic, and sometimes ruthless. Fans were divided. Some refused to believe the receipts. They claimed the leaks were taken out of context. Others accepted the evidence and felt disappointed. The debate became intense. Was Blake a victim of a smear campaign, or had she been hiding her true nature all along? The only thing that was clear was that the perfect image had been broken. These receipts marked a turning point. The story was no longer about rumors or speculation. It was about evidence, proof, and a harsh reality that no celebrity, no matter how beloved, can escape the truth forever. The exposure had begun, and it was only the beginning. When receipts begin to surface around any celebrity, the legal dimension cannot be ignored. Hollywood may appear glamorous on the surface, but behind the scenes it is a world driven by contract lawyers and carefully worded agreements. For Blake Lively, the situation became more complex.